Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar with Coach Jackie Kravitz. Please note this webinar is being recorded and you will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have any questions for your coach, please type them into the questions box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar today, if you have any questions, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. All right, Jackie, that's all from me. Go ahead and take it away.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. Give me just 1 second. Okay, here we go. So today, the topic, obviously, as you know, if you're dialing into the right webinar, how to take 2 listings a week from FSBOs and expireds. I coach a group program format called Dominate Your Market, and I'm going to briefly give you a little background so you understand why I actually coach this program. I've been in real estate for 22 years. I have been coaching for the last 10 years. When I was selling real estate, my entire business came from listing and selling FSBOs and expireds, and I was listing about 150 a year and sold between 120 and 130 FSBOs and expireds a year for several years. In South Florida, if any of you are in this area, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, it's one of the most competitive marketplaces in the country. I've actually worked a lot of for sale by owners in the early 2000s in a very hot market. So I do have a lot of experience in handling their objections, closing, and presenting. And Dominate Your Market is a program that will give you all of the tools, the strategies, the skills, the scripts, the dialogues, so you can set qualified appointments with FSBOs and expireds, and you will also learn a very powerful problem presentation, which is your for sale by owner presentation. When you meet with them, how do you actually list that for sale by owner on your first appointment versus having to follow up for weeks or even months, which is what most agents believe is how you have to handle FSBOs. Dominate Your Market. The next program starts the day after tomorrow on Friday, June 1st. I'll give you a little more information at the end again. It's a 3-month program. It's $99 a month, and you would actually be able to get a discount by signing up for it today. So it's a 1 hour a week of a live call, group call. It's an interactive call. This webinar, all of you are muted because it gets really noisy on the line. So in order for me to be able to give you all this information without any disruption, you are muted today. Dominate Your Market is not like that. I actually do a lot of role plays in the program so you can learn through role plays, and I always ask for role play partners, so obviously you'll be participating. So why are FSBOs and expireds such a great source of business for every single one of you? FSBOs and expireds are what we call high impact calls. So if you're writing down, if you're making notes, write this down. High impact calls means that you are speaking with homeowners who want to sell their property. Now think about the purpose of your lead generation every day. You get on the phone or you go door knocking and you lead generate every day, talking to people about buying and selling real estate, which is what lead generation is all about, with the purpose of finding someone who wants to sell. And depending on who you are calling, if you're calling your past clients and sphere of influence, this is obviously a long-term system you put in place with a 33 or 36 touch a year, and it can produce incredible results over time. And you got to build this database. And even with your past client sphere of influence, after 2 or 3 years, as Gary says, which is what it takes, having your database on a powerful 36 touch in order to produce the 12-to-2 ratio Gary talks about in MREA in terms of return, you still have to talk to a lot of past clients and Sphere to find someone who is ready to sell their house right now. Because obviously, in lead generation, our goal is to find people who want to buy or sell, preferably sellers, right? That's what we focus our business on, leads, listings, leverage. So we're looking for people who want to sell. Again, calling your database, you might have to talk to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people, depending on where you are in implementing the system, to find someone who wants to sell or get a referral for someone who is ready today. Now, if you're calling, say, if you're making circle prospecting calls, you're calling around the neighborhood looking for someone who wants to sell. Again, I did a lot of those calls my first 2 years in real estate, and those of you who have done that or have gone door knocking, you know that depending on the area you're calling, you might have to talk to 100, 200, 300, who knows, hundreds of people in order to find someone who is ready today. Well, here's the great news about FSBOs and expireds and why we call them high-impact calls. You have an opportunity with FSBOs and expireds to pick up the phone in the morning, make a phone call to someone that you've never spoken before, and that same day you can go out and take a listing. That's what a high impact call is. You are speaking with people who want to buy and sell. So I wonder, this is a rhetorical question because obviously all of you are muted and you cannot answer. I wonder why real estate agents lead generate and do not call FSBOs and expireds, because I know some of you joined this webinar today because you would like to be able to come to have the skills to call FSBOs and expireds and set qualified appointments and go out and take listings, and yet you're not doing that right now. You're not even calling right now, and a lot of agents stay away from FSBOs and expireds. I imagine, and with all of my years of coaching experience in the boardroom, we hear this. I imagine that the main reason is, and this is what I hear from clients, is that you don't feel confident that you can handle their objections and actually set an appointment and go out and take a listing. And you're afraid in some cases of the rejection. Yeah, FSBOs and expireds are probably some of the toughest prospects to speak with, and at the same time is where you have the best opportunity to get an immediate return in terms of setting an appointment. So I know that you would agree, if you know exactly what to say, if you're confident that you can handle their objections, if you know how to close for appointments effectively, and you know how to go out and make a presentation and get a contract signed, why wouldn't you call? Of course, if you believe that you can handle all of this. So that is what Dominate Your Market will do for you. And today, I want to give you some of those dialogues, some of those tools. So even if you choose not to sign up for Dominate Your Market, you will get some value out of what we're discussing here today. So I already covered all of this. This is what we just spoke about. You're speaking with people who want to sell. Write this down in regards to expired listings. The majority of expired listings, they relist their property within 24 to 48 hours after their property expiring in the MLS, okay? And over 50%, they're going to relist the property within 48 hours. Just imagine the amount of opportunity. And in order for you to list these properties, because they go back on the market with an agent so quickly, clearly when I refer to a new expired, which is someone whose property just came out of the MLS this morning, you have to be aggressive in speaking with them as soon as possible, because if they came out of the MLS this morning, this is their first day out of the MLS, and you don't speak with them for 2 or 3 days, or you don't call him this morning and you don't call him early, chances are another agent in your area, one of your competitors, is going to make that call, set the appointment, go on and list that property. So you gotta be aggressive in getting a hold of these new expired as early as possible. Now, a new expired is, in the way I define it and what I think about when I say new expired, is the one that came out of the MLS this morning. Tomorrow morning, they're not new anymore. They're only new today. After the first day, it doesn't matter. After they're 24 hours old, let's call it doesn't matter if you call in the morning, afternoon, evening, because you already missed a huge opportunity that first day when they're out of the MLS. So, in essence, what I'm saying to you is the first agent to speak with a new expired is the one that has the best chance of actually taking that listing immediately. After they've talked to 10, 20 agents, many of them stop answering the phone. If they answer the phone, they're really, really like frustrated, irritated, and angry because the phone's been ringing off the hook all day. The ones that do want to sell, chances are they already set 1, 2, or 3 appointments. So even if you're able to speak with them, if they answer the phone, it's not going to be very easy to convince them that they need one more opinion. So take advantage of this opportunity and make new expired your first contact every day. Start your lead generation by calling the brand new expireds, and then you go on to your database, the for sale by owners, old expireds, old FSBOs, new expireds, the first ones you call. Now, I want to give you a couple of skills to work on in order to be able to convert these expireds into appointments. Write this down. Your biggest challenge with a new expired is to keep them on the phone for more than 10 seconds without hanging up on you, okay? Because even if you are the first agent to speak with a brand new expired in the morning, they've been in the multiple listing system for 6 months with an agent. The house didn't sell. And the day it comes off the MLS, you're calling because you believe you can sell the property, and you can sell the property. I just want you to put yourself in their position. They're not happy people. And if you had your house listed for sale for 6 months without selling, you wouldn't be happy either. So when they hear, hi, I'm a real estate agent here in the area and dominate your market, I give you a script, the opening script for expired. If you've taken bold, you have the bold script. One of the opening lines that you learn in bold is, I specialize in selling houses that didn't sell the first time. And then I would go right into a close, and I'd like to meet with you and show you exactly how I can get this property sold for you. At 3 o'clock work, would 4 be better? So that would be the initial script. In Dominate Your Market, I give you another option of an opening line, which goes right into a close. So imagine you're a homeowner, 6 months, your house is out there, it doesn't sell. The day after it expires, you get a call from a real estate agent. They're not very welcoming to real estate agents. So your biggest challenge is, how do I engage them in conversation and keep them on the phone and have them open up and start talking to me through the questions we give you on the script so I can set an appointment. And the number one skill you have got to master in order to engage them in conversation is mimicking and matching. In bold, first step to bold, you learn mirroring and matching. When you develop the ability to match their emotion, so if they're angry, you're angry with them, not at them. You match the volume of their voice. If they answer the phone, hello, loud, you wanna sound exactly like they do, to the best of your ability. Rate of speech, volume, and emotion are three that you want to be focusing on. You could practice this with everyone everywhere. Why is this so critical? Because people like people who are like themselves. When you call an expired listing and they answer the phone, hello, and you go, hi, this is Jackie, I'm a real estate agent. It irritates them immediately, okay? And the opposite is also true. You know this to be true. If you've ever received a call from any telemarketer, let's call it, you know that by milling and matching, there's familiarity. You sound familiar to them, and they will feel comfortable and open up and stay on the phone long enough for you to set an appointment. Expired listings are easier to set an appointment on your first contact and go out and list the property the same day than FSBOs are. The challenge with expireds is they will hang up on you a lot faster than FSBOs will. FSBOs will keep you on the phone, invite you to the open house, offer to pay a commission, ask if you have a buyer. They'll talk to you. Expireds, you have got to be able to mirror and match. So you got to kind of let go of how you normally speak. Well, yeah, I always speak like this to everyone, so this is how I am. Well, how you are is not going to work for everybody unless they're like you. How about you giving that up and being there for them? That's what mimicking and matching does. Also, expired listings are looking for an agent who is confident. Okay? Confidence is critical. They've already wasted 6 months. If you call them and you're a little, wishy-washy, kind of shy, hesitant, you're done. They're looking for a confident agent, someone who sounds like they know what they're doing. They speak confidently. They know they're confident they can get the property sold, and that confidence comes across, because otherwise, again, this call is going to end very, very quickly. So, FSBOs, we've already talked about this. The purpose of lead generation is to find someone who wants to buy and sell. Every for sale by owner that you call wants to sell their property. In fact, not only do they want to sell it, they are already selling it. And so all you got to do is convince them to sell it with you. Success is simple, not easy. That right? Remember that bold law. And yet it is. They have their house for sale. What happens with FSBOs is when you call them, they sound like they're not really very motivated to sell. Well, I'm not in a hurry. And they say, I can sell it myself. I don't need an agent. I don't want to pay a commission. These are all objections that you shouldn't be surprised when you hear them. If they wanted to pay a commission, if they had any doubts that they could sell on their own or they thought they needed an agent, they wouldn't be a FSBO. They're a FSBO because they believe they can do it on their own. So why would a homeowner put their house for sale as a FSBO? Number one reason why anyone would have their house on the market privately, to save the commission. 99% of for sale by owners are selling on their own to save the commission. Why? Because they don't see value in hiring an agent. They're looking at what the average real estate agent does, and they're thinking to themselves, wait a minute, I can do that. I don't need to pay someone 6% to, what is it that most agents do? Put it on the internet, do open houses, flyers. When you look at what the average agent does, I don't blame FSBOs for not seeing the value until they speak with you. My mindset with FSBOs is they will list with the first agent who can show them there is value in paying a commission, period. And if you show them value, if you can convince them of that value on your very first appointment with them, It doesn't matter if they've only been a FSBO for a couple of days or a week. They'll hire you. And some FSBOs take a couple of months or several months to list with an agent. And the only reason for that is none of the agents that they've talked to or met with have been able to show them value. If they're selling on their own to save the commission, and you can show them that by paying you a commission, they will actually have a financial benefit, they will hire you. So that is where you have to master this problem presentation. For those of you who've taken bold in step 3, you watch Diana's problem presentation video. In Dominate Your Market, I give you an expanded problem presentation with a lot of scripts, dialogue to explain to them in person. This is not on the phone. This is when you set an appointment, so that they help them understand. I use the word explain. Help them understand that they have problems, and these problems cost them money. And you see those problems on the screen right now. No matter what they do to sell this property on their own, there is a lack of exposure because slightly over 90% of all of the houses sold in the United States, according to NAR, over 90% of the homes sold are sold by agents. What does this mean? It means that it doesn't matter what a FSBO does to attract buyers to the property. They're only attracting less than 10% of the buyers on the market. So by understanding this, by having statistics, by having the dialogues and the script so they can logically understand that in order to sell their property for the highest possible price, they need to expose the property to 100% of the buyers on the market and on their own, even if they put it in the MLS to one of these companies they pay a flat fee for. They're not going to even scratch the surface of the exposure. And in Dominate Your Market, I spend an entire hour on the problem presentation and an entire hour on just handling FSBO objections. So I will give you 6-7 different ways to handle the flat fee for MLS objection. That's the very first one that I cover on the FSBO objection handler call. So for those FSBOs who are thinking about, well, I don't even need you to put it in the MLS, you can explain to them, why these companies are not going to produce the same results. In the lack of exposure, I just want you to write down real quick the law of supply and demand, which is the basic law of economics. Basic law of supply and demand says that the more demand that you can create for any product that you are looking for, a product or service that you're looking to sell, the higher the price you'll be able to sell it for. So more demand equals more money. That's the law of supply and demand. An auction is a perfect example of that. So I will give you that dialogue. In an auction, if you're the only bidder, you pay the starting bid, the item is yours. If there are 2, 3, 4 bidders, the price goes up. Why is that? Because there's more demand. More demand equals more money. So now tie that into the 90% of buyers are buying from agents. So if 100% exposure is going to give them top market price, 10% exposure is going to give them how much. So you're going to understand every little piece of this, so you can explain this logically to a for sale owner, and they can start to see that they have all of these problems, and these problems cost them money. This is why, according to NAR, in 2016, for sale by owners nationwide sold for 23% less than the homes that were listed and sold by agents. You charge a 6% commission. So by hiring you, they'll actually sell for an average of 17% more. And you're going to learn exactly how to explain this to a FSBO so they will see the value in hiring you. what you see on the screen now are a few FSBO closes, and these are to be used when you talk to them over the phone or in person, so you can set an appointment to go out and do your problem presentation and show them the value so you can then go ahead and list them. If there was a financial benefit for you to list with me rather than sell it on your own, would you consider it? It's so logical. They may say, well, what do you mean financial benefit? Don't you charge a commission? Yes, absolutely. And I'd like to sit down with you for just 30 minutes and show you exactly how I'd be able to benefit you financially in the sale of your home, even after my commission is paid. Would 3 o'clock work? Would 4 be better? So you're not going to list them over the phone. Diana teaches us that in bold. Your job on the phone is to close for an appointment so you can go out and do your presentation. If I can show you how I can put more money in your pocket, net, bottom line, after my commission is paid, wouldn't it make sense for us to meet, or for you to at least hear about it, so you could be absolutely sure you're not leaving any money on the table? And if there was a better way to get your house sold, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? Okay? These are all very powerful closes. In Dominate Your Market, you're going to get a few more. And I'm going to do a lot of role playing, and I'll role play with whoever volunteers. And you can give me any objection you want, and I'll be able to handle them and close for an appointment. So you will learn exactly how that is done. Some expired closes. A very common expired objection is, I'm not selling anymore. I'm going to take it off the market. I'm going to wait until whatever, next year. And a lot of times you will hear this from an expired because they're simply frustrated. And by saying that objection, I'm not selling anymore, I'm going to wait till next year, or I'm going to wait a few months, it's a quick way to get most real estate agents to actually say, oh, okay, well, okay, good luck, or, goodbye, hang up. So this first close, if you were absolutely confident that your house would sell, would you put it back on the market now? Again, they're looking for a confident agent. And when you say this to them, if they have any desire to sell, they may say, well, I guess if I were, and I'm not, which leads you right into a close. The next one is the one you learn in bold. I specialize in selling houses just like yours that have been on the market and didn't sell, or that didn't sell the first time. And what I'd like to do is set up a time for us to meet. Beautiful, beautiful close. Let me come by this afternoon. I'll do a market analysis, take a look at your home, and we'll figure out what is the highest price that we can sell it for, and exactly what I'm going to do differently to get your home sold this time. And after our meeting, you could decide what's best for yourself. Fair enough? Would 3 work? 4 o'clock work? Or 3 work? 4 be better. Okay. So let me give you a couple of more details on Dominate Your Market, and then we'll open up for questions. So stay on the line. If you have any questions about FSBO's expired, Jasmine, you'd be able to read those questions to me, yes? We have an amazing helper from Mass on the line that would be able to read those questions. Would you be able to do that, Jasmine? So while she's coming up on the line, Dominate Your Market again starts on June 1st at 1 p.m. Central Time. You'll have a 1-hour call every week, and it's always at the same time. The cost of the entire program, which is a 3-month program, so there are 12 1-hour calls, is $297. You can use this Web15 code today and get 15% off, which is just about $250. The value you're going to get out of this program, I believe in under-promising and over-deliver. You're going to learn everything you need to know in order to get out there and start listing FSBOs and expires immediately. And all you have to do is apply. what you learn. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of scripts, objection handlers, closes, presentation, all of that great stuff. So give me just a second, guys, if you would. Let me see if Jasmine is on the line and she can read some of your questions for me.
Hey, Jackie, what's going on?
Hey, yeah, I wanted to see if you're able to look at any of the questions and read them to me so I can address any questions they may have.
Yeah, for sure. So Rob Lord asked, what about knocking on their door that morning?
Oh, that's great. I am a firm believer of door knocking. We are all much more powerful in person. My only concern with door knocking is it's a bit more time consuming because you can get in your car and go to, drive, 10, 15 minutes and get there and they're not home. So over the phone, it's a bit more efficient, and yet if you have several FSBOs and expireds that you're heading out to door knock and you create a route, I think that's a great idea, a great thing to do.
Awesome. So the next question we have is from Chris Penn, and they would like to know, at what time do you call in the morning? I start at 7:30 in the morning, but do not want to call that early.
Well, it's a tricky question, right? What time you call? I don't sell real estate anymore. When I was calling new expires, I used to start at 8 o'clock. You have to, first of all, speak with your team leader. Make sure you're not breaking any policies of your market center. If they are on the do not call list, it doesn't matter who it is, make sure you go to the door, don't call. And how early you should call is really trial and error. There are certain areas, markets in the country where if you call at 8, you're the first one. Some areas, if you call at 9 or even 10 a.m., you're the first one. And there are other areas where you'll have to call earlier. So again, speak with your team leader. If there's a productivity coach in your market center, just make sure you follow the policies of your market center. And yet, remember everything I mentioned on this call today. New expired first agent is the one that has the best shot of taking that listing.
We'll reschedule it.
Okay, great. So the next question they have is, where can I find FSBOs? Where can I find expired listings? Excuse me.
You go in the multiple listing every morning and you search for, so today is May 30th. You do a search for expires that expired on the 29th of May, the day before, and those expireds will come up. In some areas, your tax records may have phone numbers, or you would go online and look for sources of phone numbers for expireds. There are many, many options out there. You find the expired in your MLS. There are many other options and ways of finding phone numbers for FSBOs and expireds. Mass Coaching as a company, we just don't recommend any specific one. So you'd have to do your own research and find the one that works for you.
Great. So we actually have quite a few questions.
All right.
Someone would like to know, would this class offer a sample listing presentation to follow?
I'm sorry, read that again, Jasmine, please.
Would this class offer a sample listing presentation to follow?
You will learn a FSBO presentation, the problem presentation, how to show them value. Yes, we were going to spend an hour on that. And then a listing presentation. I don't cover that in Dominate Your Market, and yet what we recommend you use, the listing presentation you use, is the bold listing presentation, Diana's bold listing presentation. FSBOs are different though. You don't set on a phone with a FSBO and go in and just do a listing presentation until you've done a problem presentation. That portion of it will cover. The listing presentation is what you learn in bold.
Okay, great. So no matter how many times I call in the same day, I end up getting voicemails. How would you handle that?
I would leave a message, and Very simple message. FSBOs and expired, same message. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I have a couple of quick questions about your house. Please give me a call at blah, blah, blah. Thanks. Very simple message. I heard the question. No matter how many times I call or what time I call, I believe it was said like that, I always get a voicemail. Early morning, afternoon, evening, after 5:30, 6 p.m. is a great time to get people at home. Saturday mornings between 9 a.m. and noon is a great time to find people at home. And if you've called morning, afternoon, evening, you've called Saturday morning, and you've done different combinations, and you always get a voicemail, move on to the next person. Okay, it's a little abnormal. I mean, sometimes you will get voicemails. For sale by owners tend to answer the phone. Their house is for sale, and obviously they want to speak with whoever may call since they're looking for buyers. So you could always leave a voicemail.
Okay. The next one, what's your advice on how far outside my immediate market to pursue?
I would say what I used, for me, right, what I did is I would drive any day about 45 minutes from my home office to take a listing. So I would say, and you know how many miles that is going to depend on where you live and the traffic situation or whatever. So I don't know what you consider your immediate market, if it's within 10, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. I don't have an issue going 45 minutes out to take a listing. And, you know, there are a lot of considerations with that. You've got to be strong in pre-qualifying and making sure that you're going out to take a listing, not to waste your time. And yet I think 45 minutes is a good number.
Awesome. How much rapport building do you need to do with FSBOs to set an appointment?
I don't believe you need, I mean, how you build rapport is by mimicking and matching. That is your skill to build rapport. And when you master that skill, you can build rapport instantaneously. I've done it. I know a lot of real estate agents that have mastered this skill, and they do it every single day. So within seconds, you could have them opening up and speaking with you. And now it's not about building rapport, about talking about anything other than showing value and closing for an appointment. So I don't know exactly whoever asked the question, what they had in mind with building rapport. A lot of agents believe that you got to find things in common and talk about something other than the sale of their house. In my experience, that is not necessary at all. Master mirroring and matching. Speak confidently. Use the dialogues and the scripts we give you, and you'll see the result.
Okay, somebody would like to know how you get the homeowner's phone number.
Yeah, I already answered that question earlier. There are many sources and many different ways to find it. You got to do your own research. You could speak with your team leader, productivity coach. You could ask other agents. We at MAP don't recommend any specific way. There are a lot of different sources out there, though.
Okay. Someone would like to know, do you put them all in your database and continue to call for a couple of days?
No. FSBOs and expireds are immediate business. So there is no need to be following up. The goal you have is to get these FSBOs and expireds and close for an appointment on your first contact. It's a mindset. What you focus on expands. If your mindset around FSBOs and expireds is these are long-term leads, it's going to take follow-up. Well, the minute they give you an objection, you say, oh, okay, I'll follow up with you then. And if you're focused on leads, you're going to find leads. If you're focused on contacts, you're going to find contacts. if you're focused on appointments and you apply what we teach you in Dominate Your Market, you're going to set appointments. It's that simple. So is it possible that you may speak with an expired that really has a condition and they're going to put the house back on the market in 3 months and you're going to have to follow up? Yeah, that is possible, and that's not the rule. Over 50% of expireds relist within 48 hours. FSBOs have their house for sale. I believe, I know, I don't believe, I know because I've done it, and there are many clients that have been through Dominate Your Market and that I've coached one-on-one that do it. You can set 60 to 70% of every FSBO and expired appointment on the first contact. There is no reason why you should be following up endlessly with these people.
Awesome. So we'll take a couple more, and someone would just like to know.
Jasmine, if you don't mind, just before you ask the next question, there's something I want to mention here too. Dominate Your Market these are conference calls that you're going to be involved in. And MAP, this is going to be the very first one. We're launching a brand new, it's actually a class. It's an in-person class, and it's called Dominate Your Market Live. And this is going to happen in Austin on July 9th and 10th. So July 9th is a Monday from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., and day 2, the 10th, is from 8 a.m. until noon. So you would fly to Austin on Sunday. You would spend 2 nights in Austin. Tuesday afternoon, you can catch a flight back home. What is this class about? It's a KW. This program or class or workshop is hands-on. So I'm gonna give you. We're only gonna give you scripts, tools, closes, and then you're gonna get an action in the room. I will be teaching this class, and you're going to be making calls with me standing by you, listening to what is going on. You're going to have closing techniques. You're going to have scripts in front of you, and you're going to be calling FSBOs, expired, your leads, and even some of your database and setting appointments. My goal for this class is for every single one of you to walk away and leave on Tuesday after 12 o'clock and go back to your offices with your whole schedule filled with appointments for the remainder of the week. This is to actually apply in person what you learn in this program. So if that's something you're interested in, a very easy way to find the link, you could do one of two things. You could go on my Facebook page, it's there, Jackie Kravitz on Facebook. You can go on mapscoaching.com under events. There's a tab for events, and Dominate Your Market Live is right there. You click on it, you can register, and the cost of the class is $399. This first one only, it's at $199. It's an amazing opportunity. I am so excited. Diana and I have been talking about this class for over a year. It's finally happening, so join us. All right, Jasmine, what else do you have?
Okay, someone would like to know, what type of scripts do you use when you're not the first agent to call?
It's the same exact script. The script is not going to change. You're going to say the exact same thing. So with the new expired, my two favorites are one of the bold scripts, which is, hi, this is Jack. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I noticed that your house came out of the multiple listing system last night or this morning, and I'm calling you today because I specialize in selling houses that didn't sell the first time, and I'd like to meet with you and show you how I can get your property sold. Would 3 o'clock work today? Would 4 be better? That's one. The next one, so it doesn't matter if it's old or new. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I'm sure you figured out your house came off the multiple listing this morning, and I am calling you today because I am confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to meet with you for just 30 minutes and show you how I can get that done. Would 3 o'clock work? Would 4 be better? So now if you're the 20th agent, they're going to say to you, yeah, you're the 20th agent. Now that's an objection you're going to have to deal with. The opening line would be the same.
Awesome. So that's pretty much it.
All right, sounds good. We spent 45 minutes together, guys. Dominate your market June 1st, just 2 days from now. Sign up, take advantage of this amazing opportunity. Once you master FSBOs and expires, everything else in your business is going to be so much easier. And don't forget, Dominate Your Market Live, mapscoaching.com under events. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you for your help. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.